Week after week, I hear the housing minister talk about homelessness in our cities, and it makes me wonder who is looking out for the smaller regions where the problem may not see the same high numbers, but where the lives at risk are equally precious. St. John, Moncton, Fredericton, there are big issues there, no question about it. But in Sussex and tucked in the woods and under bridges in many of the rural ridings of the MLAs in this House, there are hidden encampments and people sleeping in vehicles. We cannot continue to ignore the rural regions as government attempts to get a grip on the higher populations and the more public, obvious problems in our city's cores. To the Minister of Housing, what are you doing outside the cities to ensure people are not freezing to death? This is not just a city problem, but it feels like the bigger picture is being ignored.
I recognize the Minister responsible for Housing, New Brunswick.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. We've seen this crisis grip every community in the province, and this is not my first time standing in this House and saying that our rural communities are feeling the impact of a housing and homelessness crisis that is having a massive impact on every community. But we're building. We are making sure that every community with a need in the province is getting the support from our government to make sure that we are unlocking new nonprofit developments, whether it be in bridge housing, transitional housing, or permanent affordable housing. We are making sure that for the first time in 40 years, we are building public housing in communities that have not seen it. We're making sure that we are delivering like never before on housing in the face of a previous government that did not get a single unit of public housing constructed. We're doing it. We're doing it with urgency, and we're making sure that every community is protected in this crisis in the long term.
I recognize the member for Sussex Three Rivers.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The only ribbons he has cut have been ours. In my riding, there is nowhere safe to warm up and nowhere to sleep. This weekend, a teenage girl who has faced unimaginable trauma from childhood told me she spent the night tucked under a bank ATM machine until she was kicked out at 4 a.m. I left her with a coat off my back, a pocket full of gum and candy I had in the bottom of my purse, along with my constituency office address and phone number. That is all I had to offer, and I haven't stopped thinking about her since. She is even younger than my own children, just a kid with nowhere to go other than the library to clean up, the Civic Centre to shower, and the Salvation Army or Sharing Club for food. How do people like this fall through the cracks in rural regions where there are no warming centres or shelters for sleep? Will the minister work with communities to arrange and fund temporary housing, perhaps in local hotels, until spring when things warm up?
Je reconnais le ministre responsable d'Habitation, Nouveau-Brunswick.
Merci, Madame la Présidente. We will work with every community that is seeing a need, and we will make sure that we are supporting them in the way we can to unlock more housing than we ever have before in this province. The member opposite wants to talk about situations that are happening in their ridings. Then they should reflect on a 6-year and 210% increase in homelessness on their watch. While New Brunswickers were out in the cold, they sat on surpluses and got nothing built. Not a single door of public housing, not a single door of new government-constructed public housing on their watch, and we made sure we delivered. We're going to hit our target this year, we're going to hit it next year, and we're going to continue to do it in a way that has never been seen before in this province. We're going to deliver public housing. They didn't. It's taking us to do it.
I recognize the member for Sussex Three Rivers.
Minister, these rural communities with part-time mayors and councillors have limited services, resources and money, yet they are expected to address a crisis they cannot manage alone. They're over their heads and they don't know what the solutions are or how to get there. Meanwhile, citizens want to know there is help and hope for the unhoused people sharing the same community, especially in these freezing temperatures. People just can't stand to see the suffering, maybe more so in a small town like mine where every face is seen and every heart heartbreaking story felt. In Sussex, a new nonprofit is trying desperately to help and has taken their idea for small sleeping pods to council, but there's no evidence that they are safe or that they will keep people warm in these temperatures. Since the minister is just killing it over there, has he had any meaningful conversation with my municipality about people sleeping out in the cold and ways you can offer support so the community is not left to shoulder this burden alone?
I recognize the minister responsible for housing New Brunswick.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. We are in the grips of this crisis that did not come overnight. We've known we've been here, and we've known that we've gotten here over decades of underfunding and under-supporting a housing stock that has created not only cracks, but massive gaps that are allowing people to fall through it. We are making sure that we are responding to this crisis. If members opposite want to talk about how they have compassion for the communities that they're representing in this crisis, then they should have stood up in this House when they were on this side of government and made sure they got off a $700 million surplus and supported the people who were desperate for it. They want to act like leaders in housing. They should have done it when they had the chance. We're doing it. We're making sure we're delivering public housing like never before, and we're going to meet our targets to be able to do it.